Part 156. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 1551. Chapter 1551 Extra chapter of Xiaofeng and his wife, 79. Ah! My godfather is so handsome. Husband, look at me, look at me. Godfather, please explain about likes. Does your godfather like Uncle Zihu? Is Godfather Xiaojin by your side? I want to see my husband. I always thought that Uncle Zihu would suddenly appear, ha ha ha. Qian Yins, why did you forget Li Dongyu so quickly? Wasn't there a big fuss before? Falling out of love so quickly? Is this just hype, or is he just the scumbag he says on the internet? Please explain. Is the one in front poisonous? Why don't you kick this kind of person out? Neuropathy. NMSL in front. Qianyins looked at the bullet screens one by one very indifferently, then calmed down and slowly explained the most frequently asked questions. Do you need a reason to start a live broadcast? Who in the entire entertainment industry doesn't know that I, Qianyins, like to start live broadcasts the most? What happened to Li Dongyu is my fault, but I didn't cheat. Thank you. He was the one who said we broke up, and this matter is not what you thought. It's so simple. I'll explain it one by one later. Xiaojin is not here. Please stop calling me husband. Be careful that my father will come and kill you. Yes, he is the one you say is better than Jun Chenai. The handsome Yu Lingfeng is who he is. He is much more handsome in real life than in the photos and videos. How handsome is he? He is so handsome that he can bend straight men. Do you think he is handsome or not? Xia Ying in front of the screen has been laughing so hard that she can't stand up straight. How does one describe being so handsome that she can bend a straight man? Yu Lingfeng, a straight man, had already turned black into charcoal gray. The barrage is also quite fun. I said you weren't the one who was bent by Yu Lingfeng, were you? Then you couldn't be Yu Lingfeng's sweetheart, so you became Xiaojin's godfather. Rounding things off, you also married Yu Lingfeng? Ha ha ha, does Comrade Chen in front of you want to laugh me to death? No, why did the topic turn to Yu Lingfeng? Ha ha ha, but I like it. Lumg. Zihu, ex-boyfriend, first love boyfriend. Qianyin's ears turned red when he mentioned 11 Ju. Ah. First love ex-boyfriend. I knew you two were having an affair. This Fujashi's vision is never wrong. Mom. So boys can never forget their first love, is it true? Li Dongyu didn't break up with you because he found out that you still liked your first boyfriend, right? Yes, I thought I could forget him at first, so I came here with Li Dongyu. He is very nice, understands my music, and takes good care of me. If 11 Ju doesn't show up, I might be with him married. Xiaojin asked about the flower girl because I had thought about marrying him before and asked Xiaojin to be the flower girl. Who knew that 11 Ju later showed up and he quit because he found out that I still liked 11 Ju. So it's my fault, Li Dongyu is fine. You can think whatever you want about this matter, just don't attack him. I cried, the plot in the novel. Li Dongyu is very pitiful, but Qianyins gave him everything he could. He didn't even know that he could not forget 11 Ju. Li Dongyu was also a good person, and he chose Cheng Quan for love. If you like it so much, why did you break up before? You are still quite a scumbag, Li Dongyu is so pitiful. I won't say the reason for 11 Ju's breakup, but we both liked each other when we broke up, and we still like each other now, Qianyins said, raising his right hand with an arrogant face. Have you seen this ring? My husband Zihu gave it to me. Zihu. What should I do if I am too coquettish? Waiting online. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yun Suya. Chapter 1552. Chapter 1552 Extra Chapter of Xiaofeng and his wife, 80. Ah! Zihu's old attacker. Qian Xiaoxiao, please be more reserved. Refuse this mouthful of dog food. Dog food caught off guard. 999. So you are already together? When did it happen? Qianyins patiently explained the ins and outs of this ring to everyone. A bunch of people were chatting about dog food, 99 and the like. Qianyins looked at the barrage with an arrogant face, and then said, but he hasn't changed his mind yet, so I plan to live broadcast to chase him back and report to everyone every day schedule. Grass. This touching brotherhood. Do you want to be so showy? Ah! It satisfies the hearts of many Fujiashi. Qianbeo, are you serious? I'm lovelorn again. Godfather, don't worry, chase after him, the silver treasure will always be with you. Okay, that's it for today. My manager sent me a text message to kill someone. Qianyins looked at the phone indifferently, laughed at the barrage, and said. At the same time tomorrow, everyone is welcome to continue to pay attention to the second episode of Unforgettable Entertainment. After Qianyins finished speaking, he quickly cut off the live broadcast. Soon, those who watched Qianyins' live broadcast went to post on Weibo, and Qianyins was listed on several hot searches. Unforgettable in the entertainment industry. Zilao Gong and Qian Xiaoxiao. Qianyins is upright. Being a fan of Qianyins' live broadcast. By this time, Xia Ying was already excitedly grabbing Yu Lingfeng's arm and screaming. Yu Lingfeng had a cold face, and then said to Xiajin, who heard the noise and came over to ask Xia Ying what happened, your mother is crazy. At this time, 11 Ju also came over. He had been playing flying chess with Xiaojin just now. He was completely isolated from the internet world. He didn't know what earth-shaking changes had happened in the outside world. He looked at the crazy Xia Ying and the indifferent Xia Ying in confusion. Yu Lingfeng. What happens? Yu Lingfeng held his forehead and wondered why 11 Ju came out at this time. Just as Yu Lingfeng was about to answer, Xia Ying said first, 11 Ju, you are here, go check Weibo quickly, go quickly. 11 Ju has rarely seen Xia Ying so careless about her image, her face flushed with excitement. Zihu took out his cell phone from his pocket in confusion, and then opened Weibo. Finally, his originally expressionless face changed color bit by bit. It's the first day I know that Qianyins is so aggressive and flirtatious. Yu Lingfeng silently pulled Xia Ying back, who suddenly jumped out of his arms. Calm down. Although I know this is nonsense, the CP of the station has come true, who can calm down? 11 Ju didn't say a word, but turned around and left silently with his ears red. Xiajin followed and asked, Uncle Zihu, what's wrong with Weibo? 11 Ju didn't answer and found it difficult to speak. Even he himself didn't know what happened in the past 2 hours. Why did things turn out like this? 11 Ju's heart was beating very fast now, and his heart felt like a mess. Zihu locked himself in the room alone, and then started to click on Qianyin's live broadcast replay. After seeing the ring on Qianyin's hand, 11 Ju thought to himself, he actually put it on. However, after seeing that the size was just right, 11 Ju gradually began to relax. That's all, it was originally given to him. Until 11 Ju saw the annoying phrase husband sent it, he almost fainted from fright. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 1553. Chapter 1553 Extra Chapter of Xiaofeng and his wife, 81. Zihu, without any surprise, suffered from insomnia that night and couldn't sleep. Later, he simply sat up from the bed, took out his mobile phone, found the address book, and clicked on Jianyin's, whom he hadn't contacted for a long time, but he didn't know if he had changed his number. 11 Ju typed a lot of words in the dialog box, and later deleted them one by one. To be honest, he didn't know what to say to Jianyin's. But it was Jianyin's who clearly started this matter. How could he be so calm? Anyway, I should contact him. 11 Ju was in a state of confusion, and naturally there was also an element of joy in his heart. It's just that after going through so many things, 11 Ju became very passive in this relationship. Because he was the one who let go in the first place, and he was also the one who hurt the other party. So Jianyin's is cautious in every move he makes now. At first, after learning that Jianyin's and Li Dongyu were separated, Zihu's first reaction was to be happy. But after calming down, even if Jianyin's was single again, even if he still couldn't forget his old love for Jianyin's. However, no matter what, he didn't have the face to ask Jianyin's to get back together. However, at this time, things took a turn for the better, but 11 Ju was very confused at the moment. A vague feeling enveloped him, and he always couldn't feel at ease without Jianyin's precise words to him. After struggling for a long time, Zihu sent Jianyin's a message, "Are you asleep?" After posting it, Zihu regretted it. It was already past 12 o'clock, and Jianyin's had finished the live broadcast long ago. It was rare to have leisure time, so he should have gone to bed early. Moreover, his temptation seemed a bit ridiculous. After waiting for 2 minutes, 11 Ju thought that the other party had fallen asleep and was about to give up. The moment he put down his phone, the screen of his phone lit up. Zihu was startled and quickly picked up his phone to look at it. Sure enough, it was a message from Jianyin's. "Didn't he sleep, thinking about you?" Zihu was instantly petrified. Is this Jianyin's? Is this still Jianyin's? How has Jianyin's become so arrogant after not seeing each other for a few years? 11 Ju swallowed, ignored this sentence, and continued typing, "I watched your live broadcast. So, you come to me to get back together in the middle of the night?" Jianyin's on the other end huddled in the quilt, covered his mouth and laughed out loud. He was already imagining 11 Ju's expression at this moment. It must be very exciting and fun. "Are you serious?" 11 Ju returns. "More real than pearls." Jianyin's will reply in seconds. "Actually, it was my fault at the beginning, and now it's not your turn to take the initiative." 11 Ju thought about the past and was inevitably sad. At this time, there had been no movement on the other side for a long time. Zihu's heart gradually became panicked. He didn't know whether Jianyin's fell asleep while chatting with him or what happened, why he suddenly stopped replying. After waiting for about 10 minutes, 11 Ju received a long message from Jianyin's. "You said that I almost became depressed when we broke up. Later, Yu Lingfeng told me the whole story. You never said that to me, but I should know. So I don't blame you, I know you like me too. I originally thought it was just a beautiful dream, but now I woke up from it. I slowly started a new life, but you have always lived in a corner of my heart. When I saw you again at Xiaojin's birthday party that day, I knew that this dream might come true again." End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 1554. Chapter 1554 Extra Chapter of Xiaofeng and His Wife, 82. I met Yu Lingfeng last time, and he said you were already like a normal person. At that time, I thought, maybe you don't like me anymore, otherwise, why don't you come back to me? But when I saw the ring, I knew I should take action. So, you still like me, right? Otherwise you wouldn't keep that ring. That was the ring you proposed to me with, right? Zihu read it word for word. The last few tears fell on the screen of his mobile phone, and the video gradually became blurry. 11 Ju shook his hands and replied to Jian Yin's, I'm sorry, I have always liked you and it has never changed. The corner of Jian Yin's mouth raised crazily, he raised his head to let the tears in his eyes flow back, and then replied, if we get back together, we will never break up again, okay? Good. Just as 11 Ju typed the last word, Jian Yin's phone called. 11 Ju answered the call with trembling hands. That night, 11 Ju and Jian Yin's chatted for who knows how long, and neither of them knew when they gradually fell asleep. The next day, they both slept until noon before waking up. Xiaojin didn't see 11 Ju the next day. After lunch, she saw a disheveled and exhausted 11 Ju walking towards the restaurant. Xiaojin was surprised, Uncle Zihu, why did you just get up? I thought you had already gone to the comic shop. The sun has already scorched your butt. After Xiaojin finished speaking, she stuck out her tongue at 11 Ju. 11 Ju scratched the back of his head in embarrassment, said nothing, just sat down and started eating. While eating, 11 Ju was thinking about what happened yesterday, and the corners of his mouth couldn't help but rise. Xiaojin looked on in confusion, Uncle Zihu, why are you laughing? Zihu was stunned for a moment, and then he realized that the baby next to him was still looking at him. Nothing. 11 Ju still smiled, Xiaojin won't go to school today. Xiaojin pouted, I asked for leave. Last time I went to the kindergarten, many reporters came to interview me, so mom asked for leave for me. Since the last episode of Let's Eat Together Jian Yin's aired, Xiaojin has become popular again, so many unscrupulous media have inquired about Xiaojin's kindergarten and went to the kindergarten to block Xiaojin and insist on interviewing him. After Xia Ying found out, she took Xiaojin back and stopped going to the kindergarten for the time being to avoid the limelight. Zihu reached out and touched Xiaojin's head, then, does Xiaojin want to go to the comic shop with me today? Xiaojin shook her head subconsciously, her eyes sparkling, but after a while, her face softened again, and she said with a flat mouth, no, Mommy said, you can't pester Uncle Zihu during this period. Uncle Zihu is important. There are things to do. But Uncle 11 Ju, what important things do you have to do? Zihu was amused by Xiaojin's childlike words, well, it's okay. Xiaojin can follow me. As for what happens, I will tell Xiaojin later. Xiaojin became even more curious, is it Uncle Zihu's little secret? Zihu smiled and nodded, well, it's a little secret. Xiaojin also smiled, well, since it's a secret, Uncle Zihu doesn't have to tell me. 11 Ju tugged at Xiaojin's little nose. Xiaojin pouted, staring at 11 Ju with childish eyes and smiling. Zihu continued to eat the food on his plate, thinking about something silently in his mind. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 1555. Chapter 1555 Extra Chapter of Xiaofeng and His Wife, 83. Xiaojin originally wanted to go out with 11 Ju, but Xia Ying saw it and dragged Xiaojin back. She said seriously, you are not allowed to be a light bulb. Zihu's face froze, and he didn't know how to retort for a moment, so he just stood there and said nothing. Xiaojin asked back, what does it mean to be a light bulb? Xiaojin doesn't want to be a light bulb. Xiaojin wants to read comics. You just follow your father these days and don't pester your Uncle Zihu, do you hear me? Xia Ying gave her strict instructions, and Xiaojin had no choice but to nod in agreement. Yu Lingfeng, whose name was called on the side, was stunned for a long time before saying, I still have to go to the research institute. Is Xiaojin more important or the institute? Xia Ying's torture from the soul and Xiaojin's arrogant eyes left Yu Lingfeng unable to refute. Okay, so what have you been doing lately? Xia Ying immediately became happy, of course there are other important things. Yu Lingfeng has 3 black lines on her forehead. Apart from writing that book, Xia Ying has been chasing CP recently. What else could be important? Yu Lingfen knelt down, stroked Xiaojin's head, and said meaningfully, "Son, when you look for a girlfriend in the future, you must not look for a rotten girl." Xiaojin blinked. What is a rotten girl? Yu Lingfen twitched the corner of his mouth and looked at the innocent face. Forget it, you are still young, I will check it for you in the future. Xiaojin nodded in understanding. Xia Ying glanced at her and said, Yu Lingfen, what are you whispering to Xiaojin? It's nothing, I just want to say that your lipstick looks good today. Yu Lingfeng's face did not turn red, and his heart did not beat. Xiaojin was shocked and turned to look at Yu Lingfeng. Is this the first time his father has been caught lying? Xia Ying felt happy after hearing this. You have a good sense. Nian Qi gave it to me, saying it was a hot item recently and hard to buy. Xia Ying started chatting with Yu Lingfeng. Yu Lingfeng kept smiling and nodding. Xiaojin snorted, thinking that the world of adults is really complicated. Dad, who has always been upright, actually dared not say anything bad about mommy to his face. Xiaojin took Yu Lingfeng's hand and said, Daddy, what are we playing today? Read and study today. Yu Lingfeng said to Xiaojin. What book are you reading? I'll help you choose. Yu Lingfeng said, taking Xiaojin's hand and heading towards the study. Xia Ying also returned to her study and started writing her novel. Since this period of time, Xia Ying has written almost a third of the novel, neither fast nor slow, but she has been revising and striving for perfection. After all, this is the first time she has written such a long novel, and since it is her own story, Xia Ying values this article particularly. She must make it popular. At this time, Xia Ying received news from Ye Xiaoxun. Sakura, I'm pregnant. Xia Ying's eyes lit up when she saw the news, and she quickly replied, Really, when did this happen? I found it today, almost 2 months ago. Xia Ying smiled, You are quite fast. Ye Xiaoxun's first child is a girl. She is almost 3 years old and is very beautiful. I didn't expect that I would be pregnant with my second child so soon. I didn't expect it either, it was an unexpected surprise, haha. Xia Ying subconsciously touched her belly. Yu Lingfeng kept saying that she wanted to have another baby, but there was no movement in Xia Ying's belly. Now that Ye Xiaoxun was also pregnant, Xia Ying suddenly began to long for another baby. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 1556. Chapter 1556 Extra Chapter of Xiafeng and His Wife, 84. I envy you, I also want to have another child. Xia Ying replied to Ye Xiaoxun. Ye Xiaoxun was stunned for a moment, then smiled and replied to Xia Ying, Do you want to have another child? But didn't I say before that giving birth is too painful and I shouldn't have to go through it again in this life? Last time Xia Ying and the others got together, they somehow ended up talking about their experience of giving birth. This kind of thing always varies from person to person. Although most people like Xia Ying are in excruciating pain, there are also people like Ye Xiaoxun who find it extremely easy to give birth to a child. It doesn't take long for them to get out of bed and move around. Mu Niankai's pain level was moderate. According to her, it was very painful at the beginning of the birth, but fortunately the birth was fast and the pain did not last long. After hearing their experiences, Xia Ying complained that she would never have any more children in her life. Mu Niankai was still teasing Xia Ying at that time. Whether you have a baby or not is not something you can decide alone. If you are really pregnant, can you still bear to abort the child? Xia Ying had always been worried before, fearing that she would be pregnant. She had done a good job every time, but this time she wanted to have a baby, but she couldn't get pregnant. Xia Ying told Ye Xiaoxun her concerns. Ye Xiaoxun just laughed and said, everyone's physique is different. Maybe you are born with difficulty in conceiving. But when I was pregnant with Xiajin, I got pregnant once. Ye Xiaoxun didn't know what to say. Then why don't you go see a doctor to find out what the problem is? Forget it, I'm afraid of going to the hospital. Xia Ying has been most afraid of going to the hospital since she was a child. This is still the case now and cannot be changed. Relax, take your time with this kind of thing, don't be in a hurry. Xia Ying replied yeah, sighed, and said nothing more. Ye Xiaoxun changed the subject and asked, how is your novel going? 1/3. Come on. No more chatting. I'll continue writing. Okay, I just happened to be writing an update. Now that I'm not too big, I'll save more manuscripts so that I won't be able to touch the computer in the future. Take care. After Xia Ying sent the sentence to Ye Xiaoxun, she put down her phone, sorted out her emotions, and started writing her own novel. At this time, Yu Lingfeng and Xiajin were still reading in the study. Yu Lingfeng selected some books for Xiajin that were suitable for him to read. Although Xiajin has great curiosity and amazing learning ability, Yu Lingfeng always feels that it is too early for him to be exposed to those high-tech and esoteric theories at such a young age. He is still a child after all, so it would be better to watch something more childlike. Xiajin doesn't object, he still likes to read Sherlock Holmes. After an unknown amount of time, Yu Lingfeng's cell phone lit up and received a text message from 11 Ju. Master, Qianyins and I are together. Yu Lingfeng reached out and picked up the phone. When he saw the text message, he was not surprised. Instead, he raised the corners of his mouth and smiled lightly. Then he stretched out his long fingers and typed a reply to 11 Ju, have fun, 99. After Yu Lingfeng finished replying, he took a screenshot and sent it to Xia Ying. The next second, Xiajin, who was reading silently, was frightened by a scream outside. Xiajin raised her head and looked at Yu Lingfeng in panic. Yu Lingfeng showed a fatherly smile, reached out and touched Xiajin's head, and said softly, be good. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 1557. Chapter 1557 Extra Chapter of Xiaofeng and His Wife, 85. Xiaojin nodded without knowing why, then lowered his head and began to wonder who the murderer should be, and what the reasons and means of committing the crime were. Yu Lingfeng put down his hand and listened to the screams outside. He said helplessly to Xiajin, you read the book first, and I'll go see what happened to your mother. Xiaojin nodded obediently, and after Yu Lingfeng put down the book, he walked out with his long legs. Just then, Yu Lingfeng met Xia Ying in the living room, and Xia Ying was ready to come over to find him. Yu Lingfeng shook his head and stretched out his arms. Xia Ying quickly threw herself into Yu Lingfeng's arms. Ah, Yu Lingfeng, are they really together? Yu Lingfeng pinched his silly wife's face with an indifferent expression. Yes, yes, your CP has become sweet and it has come true. It's time for your wish to come true. I'm so happy, even happier than when I married you. Yu Lingfeng's face darkened. Should this comparison be so painful? Oh, by the way, Yu Lingfeng, Xiaoxun is pregnant. When Xia Ying said this, her expression darkened obviously. He pouted and looked up at Yu Lingfeng aggrievedly. Yu Lingfeng heard the sense of loss in Xia Ying's words, touched her forehead, and comforted her. It's a good thing to be pregnant, why aren't you happy? Then when are we going to see her? Xia Ying nodded and whispered, I was thinking, when can I get pregnant? Xiaoxun suggested that I go to the hospital for a checkup to see if there is anything wrong, but I am afraid and don't want to go. You said, do you want to go? Yu Lingfeng's face darkened, what nonsense are you talking about? If there is really something wrong with your body, I will be the first to know that you are fine and healthy. It's just that pregnancy is a matter of chance. Maybe it's because we were lucky the first time, or maybe God cared about you, so he left you with Xiaojin, and now we are so happy, so take your time, don't worry about the child. After hearing what Yu Lingfeng said, Xia Ying felt a little better and nodded. Yu Lingfeng continued, besides, it doesn't matter even if we don't have a second child. We have such an outstanding and lovely Xiaojin, so we should be content. Yu Lingfeng, you are so kind. Xia Ying hugged Yu Lingfeng, rested her head on Yu Lingfeng's chest, and spoke softly. Ever since Yu Lingfeng said that she wanted to have another child, Xia Ying's heart has been hanging on her heart. She worked so hard every time, but in the end it felt like fetching water from a bamboo basket. It was really uncomfortable. Fool, I'm not good to you, who treats you well, who makes you your husband, even though you marry me, you haven't seen 11 Ju and Qianyins happy together. Xia Ying was quite touched by the first half of the sentence, but when Yu Lingfeng said it sourly, she immediately made Xia Ying laugh. Haha, do you want to be so fussy about it? I was just joking. Do you understand exaggeration? Yu Lingfeng curled her lips, so you would be happier marrying me. You are so childish. Answer me. Not. At this time, Xiao Jin was standing not far away and saw her parents, who were very tired of their parents. They typed a reply to Xiao Kong with a look of disgust. Xiao Kong just asked Xiao Jin what he was doing. Xiao Jin replied, "Look at my parents show affection." Xiao Kong replied, "Ha ha ha, you are so boring." End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuan Suya. Chapter 1558. Chapter 1558 Extra Chapter of Xiafeng and His Wife, 86. Xiaojin shrugged, he also thought he was bored. Originally, I was just reading a book and feeling thirsty. I came to the refrigerator to look for something to drink. Who knew I would see my parents showing off their affection? Moreover, these two people show affection so frequently that it is normal for him to see them. Xiao Jin walked past Xia Ying and Yu Lingfeng and coughed twice seriously. "Comrades, please pay attention to the impact, there is a child here," Xiaojin said, and went to the refrigerator to get orange juice. Yu Lingfeng and Xia Ying were stunned for a moment. After they came to their senses, Xia Ying smiled even more happily. Yu Lingfeng frowned and began to doubt himself. Who does Xiaojin look like? Others say Xiaojin is a copy of you. Who do you think she is like? Yu Lingfeng curled his lips and said nothing. Xiaojin took another drink and passed by the two of them while shaking her head. Ahem, today's young people. Yu Lingfeng. How could this little old man's tone be like his? In the evening, Qianyin started the live broadcast on time. Today is the second day of my live broadcast to pursue my ex-boyfriend. Guess what's going on now? Qianyins asked with a smile, and then watched the number of people in the live broadcast room increase steadily, and the barrage was also dazzling. Don't tell me you've already caught me. I guess the progress has reached bed. I guess Uncle Zihu is already married, ha 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 ha. Is the one in front a devil? Ha ha ha. I won't guess, looking at your arrogance, you must have a big leap. Okay, my dog's bowl is set up, and I'm just asking you when the dog food will be distributed. Qianyins kept smiling sweetly while watching the barrage. Well, you are very smart and you have made some progress. Qianyins was still slowly trying to get through, when the barrage exploded. Is there really any progress? What kind of divine love is this? Zuko, I understand, I will also go to the live broadcast to pursue my male idol later. Swallow dog food with tears. What's the point of selling? It's all adults who talk a little more sweetly, just say if they applaud for love. Grass, is the barrage so explosive? Mom, there is bad silver in front of you. Qianyin's face darkened. What kind of idiots are my fans? Come on, let's talk step by step. Qianyins is very patient, and does not plan to tell them the results all at once, but plans to slowly share their love experience. He watched my live broadcast yesterday and sent me a text message in the middle of the night. Did you break your leg? Ha ha ha. The night is long and lonely and I can't sleep. Tell me what's wrong with you. Daddy, can you speak faster? Before my roommate died, he wanted to know if you were together. We chatted all night last night. Hey, I blocked the guy who said naughty things. I don't allow people who are naughtier than me in my live broadcast room. I want everyone to be careful when they speak. There are still minors here. Don't bringing bad children. Ma Dan can't say anything anymore, I'm so anxious. Ha ha ha, I was laughing so hard. Do you still know that you are a slut? 666. Children, please don't watch this weird live broadcast. 666. Well, let's get down to business. Today we met each other, had dinner, watched a movie, and then chatted for a long time. What were we talking about? Just talking about things in the past. After all, we haven't seen each other for so many years, but there's a lot to talk about. House manager, the person who talked about where to get a room was blocked by me. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuen Suya. Chapter 1559. Chapter 1559 Extra chapter of Xiaofeng and his wife, 87. Ha ha ha, so strict. Seriously, have you ever talked about where to get a room? Ha ha ha. Han Cao, I always thought that Jianyins was gong, but today I look like a shy little daughter-in-law, she is obviously suffering from it. So Uncle Zihu is the one who attacks? Ha ha ha. What movie did you watch? Oh, it was a very popular movie during this period. It was adapted from Yi Sun's novel about juvenile delinquency. It premiered today. I recommend everyone to watch it. By the way, Yi and I have a good relationship with Kaoru, so my fans can come and support it. It's really a great movie, well produced, and of course the screenwriter is great, ha ha ha. Qianyins, I seriously suspect that you are stalling for time. I have given you so many rockets, can you stop talking nonsense? What happened to you and Uncle Zihu? Equals. You finish telling what happened between you and Uncle 11 Jew in 1 minute, and I will book the theater for the company employees to watch that movie. Is your stomachache feeling better? I brought you some porridge. Just when Qianyins was about to continue speaking, a warm and magnetic male voice suddenly sounded. As soon as this voice came out, the barrage immediately went crazy. Slap in the face in seconds. He also said that he hadn't discussed where to book a room. Isn't this the same thing as booking a room? I even recognized the name of the hotel you were staying in. Uncle Zihu? 666. Uncle Zihu's voice, OMG. I am voice controlled. Qian Bao has a stomachache again? I feel bad, remember to let Uncle Zihu rub it well. Not only will my stomach hurt later. Is the one in front poisonous? Be careful of being banned, ha ha ha. Qianyins looked a little embarrassed, and then mouthed to 11 Jew, I'm live broadcasting. Who would have thought that 11 Jew's face changed instantly, don't you have a stomachache? Why are you still doing the live broadcast? Turn it off. Come over and have some porridge and rest. Haha, Uncle Zihu is very aggressive. Domestic violence scene. Dante, turn off the live broadcast. I want to see Uncle Zihu, Uncle Zihu is so good. Ha ha ha, Qianyins is so embarrassed. Just got back. In front, which gang is it? Holy shit. This live broadcast room is really cool. 6-6. It will be over soon. Qianyin's voice weakened without him noticing, and he looked aggrieved. Hurry up. Zihu was helpless and didn't know how he got here during this time. When I was with him before, my stomach was obviously very good and everything I ate tasted delicious. I don't know what I have been through in the past few years. I just had a hot pot meal and I have been feeling uncomfortable. Later I confessed to Zihu that I had a stomachache. 11 Ju was not happy. Why didn't you tell me earlier that you had a bad stomach? If you had known earlier, you wouldn't have eaten the spicy Chongqing hot pot. Qianyin smiled at Zihu at that time, but you like hot pot, so I don't want to spoil the fun. And then make yourself so uncomfortable, do you think I will be happy? 11 Ju still sounded a lesson. Qianyin showed weakness. Okay, I know I was wrong, and I won't do it again. Zihu was helpless, and then said, you must take care of yourself in the future. Don't want. Qianyin's had a straight face. Why are you so childish? Zihu was speechless. You take care of me, okay. 11 Ju looked at those kitten-like eyes and immediately softened his heart. Okay, I will take good care of you. Qianyin's laughed. Okay, 11 Ju is hurting me, so I can only say one more word and turn off the live broadcast. 11 Ju and I are together, ha ha ha, over. End of this chapter. The Return of the National Goddess. Author, Yuen Suya. Chapter 1560. Chapter 1560 Extra Chapter of Xiaofeng and His Wife, 88. As soon as Qianyin said those words, the barrage climaxed again. A large number of 99 videos have been viewed, and of course many Fujoshi have expressed their belief in love again. Daddy, I want to see Uncle Zihu. Can you ask Uncle Zihu to come over and show his face? Uncle Zihu, come over and show your face. He stole my husband, but at least he has to come out in the same frame and accept the blessings of our fans. It's so fast. Yesterday, I was still talking about what I wanted to pursue during the live broadcast. They really got back together so quickly. This is the fastest composite scene I have ever seen. Ma Dan, so what are you doing in front of me? I have delayed saying this until now. Get away with my blessing. Qianyin's raised his head and looked at 11 Ju, who was gradually losing his patience. He looked like, how many more times do you want me to say it again? He flattened his mouth in embarrassment and said, they asked you to come over and show your face. Zihu frowned, why am I showing my face? They said you stole their husbands, so they asked you to come over and show your face. Qianyin's continued, how about you, do you want to accept this challenge? Zihu was helpless, I'll show my face, and you'll come over to drink porridge. The tone of discussion. Qianyin smiled when he saw something was going on, nodded, and said in a very well-behaved manner, okay, it's a deal. After Qianyin's finished speaking, he stood up, made room for 11 Ju, and went to the side to drink the rice porridge 11 Ju bought for him. When 11 Ju appeared on the screen, all he saw was a barrage of crazy barrages. They are all saying that 11 Ju should be nice to Qianyin's, that fool found love with great difficulty, and so on. Zihu felt like he was meeting the future daughter-in-law of his father-in-law, but opposite him were millions of dollars. I know, you don't have to worry. He is fine, so we will be happy too. Thank you for your concern. Zihu seemed neither humble nor arrogant, and very polite. Qianyin's was sipping warm white rice porridge while staring at 11 Ju's side face with a smile. He felt that that person was very magical. It seemed that when he saw that face, he wanted to stay with him forever. The feeling of a lifetime. Qianyin's felt that he had fallen into the hands of this person in his life. The news that 11 Ju and Qianyin's were together soon made it to Weibo and headlines on various pages. Qianyin's economic company said that this brat directly announced his relationship without telling them a word, and also live broadcast together and spread the word, which is really too much. The Tianyins incident has made a big fuss, and even Jun Chennai has not been spared. Whenever Jun Chennai has any activities now, the media will ask him about Tianyins. For example, how do you think they are together? Although Chinese law does not allow same-sex marriage, but will they go abroad to get married, and whether Jun Chennai is optimistic about them. Jun Chennai said that his head was getting big. Shouldn't he ask the person involved about this kind of thing? Ask him what he does. What can he do, other than send blessings, or else break them up? Jun Chennai feels that today's media reporters are less and less able to ask questions. Perhaps because he was annoyed by the reporters' questions, Jun Chennai casually announced that he and Xiao Yingying were going to get married soon, so he was very busy during this period and let him go. Then, Jun Chennai successfully stole the popularity of Tianyins and 11 Ju being together. End of this chapter.